All right, holy smokes. Alex Newhook, I still don't know how we got you on this podcast, but I'm thankful for your time. I'm pretty sure you're the busiest man east of Montreal right now with the Newfoundland community just trying to get a hold of you. So thank you very much for joining the show, brother. I appreciate it.
Of course, yeah. Thanks for having me. It's good to be back on.
Has every time, when you watch these interviews with people that win the Stanley Cup right after they go, "Oh, it hasn't set in yet. It hasn't set in yet. I don't know what to say." I don't know how many weeks has it been now? 3 weeks
Yeah,
since?
almost 3 weeks, 2.5 weeks.
Has it set in?
No, it hasn't. And all the guys that have said it before, I'm sure it's the same thing. But I keep hearing it, and it's crazy to people to approach you as a Stanley Cup champion. And there's been so many things that if you take a second to really think about and realize what has happened, but it still hasn't set in. I think once the cup gets home, I think that's kind of when it will set in.
Yeah, 100%. What when you landed in Newfoundland, what was the reception right away at the airport?
Yeah, there was a fair amount of people. A lot of the airport staff and everything was excited, and um, yeah, I mean it's something I've dreamed about, just getting home and coming down those escalator stairs, the St. John's Airport, and just having my family and everyone there. That a lot of them weren't able to get out for Game 6, so it was great to see them and great reception.
When you got drafted in Vancouver, me and dudes were, I think, maybe 2 rows behind your buddies, and they went nuts just for you getting drafted. I could not imagine you. Well, I can imagine you winning the Stanley Cup and just
Yeah.
I can't believe that they haven't just tackled you and you had an injury. Like they were so excited just seeing you getting drafted, but to win the cup, how pumped are just your buddies?
Yeah, they're so pumped, and you saw it firsthand how excited they were when I got drafted. But they've been such a great support, and they've been great friends for me my whole life, and now they're at this stage. They're just as much along for the ride as anyone, and it's been fun to celebrate with them since getting home.
Awesome. So yeah, like winning the cup, they say, it's the hardest thing to do in professional sport, or excuse me, the hardest championship to win in professional sports. I don't want to say like in life, but have you gone through anything more mentally and physically exhausting rather than the Stanley Cup playoffs?
No, I don't think so. It was a long 2 months, and to see it firsthand, like you said, the hardest trophy to win. What our team went through in those 2 months, mentally, of course, but physically too. Just the injuries everyone went through, for guys to come back and really do whatever they could to get in the lineup. Those last few series, it was special to watch, and now seeing that and knowing what it takes to win, and seeing all those guys go through that stuff, was pretty special.
Did you have anything going on that wasn't released to the media?
I actually didn't. I mean, I banged up my shoulder Game 5, but it wasn't anything too major. And I did my shoulder last year, so it was just I kind of felt something similar to that, but it wasn't enough to really put a burden on anything, and just taped it up Game 6. We're all good.
Were you amazed like the rest of the world, like looking at the injury report? Like even if you look, obviously you knew the injuries on your team, but even if you looked at Tampa, some of the injuries that those guys had, you just like everyone in the hockey world was like, wow. Did you have
Yeah,
the same reaction?
yeah, it's pretty crazy, and obviously I knew what was going on in our room, but you expect the same things going on in the other side, but you never really know, and then to see it, I think it speaks back to hockey players in general, and the toughness that's required to play, and the passion that everyone wants to play. No one's sitting out for any type of injury. You saw it. I mean, Val played with a broken foot that last game. Like,
Wow.
not that's not normal for athletes to do, for people to do, and I think, yeah, that's just hockey players, and that's Stanley Cup playoffs. So
Do you think it was tougher mentally or physically?
I think it
Because you,
was tougher mentally. I mean, yeah, I think for me as well. I mean, starting out of the lineup in the first series, and then working my way back in, and then those last few series, and um, trying to stay positive at all times, and stick with our game. And you go through a lot of ups and downs, and the mental side of it's definitely hard, but you learn a lot through it, and stuff that I'll be able to take with me for the rest of my career.
I saw it. Oh, by the way, whoever runs Colorado's Twitter does a fantastic job.
Yeah, they're
They like there were some photos of you walking into the rink. I saw 3 hours before puck drop.
Oh yeah,
Is
yeah. I get there pretty early.
is that normal, or is that just for playoffs?
No, that's normal. Yeah,
Oh, is it? Okay.
I'm generally there 3 hours before, if not a bit more sometimes. But yeah, they're on the ball on the Twitter. They always got it rolling.
Oh, 100%. So the 3 hours before, what are you doing? What
Yeah,
are you doing that first hour?
yeah. So it's generally like, I mean, at home it's kind of like there's only a few guys there for the first probably like half hour. So um, generally like me, EJ, Manson, Cogliano, McDermott. Like there's only like a select few that get there pretty early, and then um, I'm generally a guy that just kind of gets there, and I just take my sticks and do my laces and my skates. But I just like getting there and listen to music like for an hour.
Yeah.
Honestly, like
Yeah.
I just get there and sit in my stall and chill out and listen to music, and um, it's good to just kind of I like just hanging out there, not feeling like I'm rushed before the game or anything, and just kind of getting in that mindset. I love it.
What's the living situation up in Colorado for you right now?
I was in an apartment all year, just by myself, and then me and Bo lived in the same building, so it was nice.
Okay.
It was an apartment, but we were just 2 floors away from each other, so we saw a lot of each other still.
The video of Bo's dad coming down the elevator without a shirt was hilarious. He just had no idea.
Yeah, that was a good one. He did the same thing with me like a week before that, and I was like, I'm so not surprised.
Did you notice that like around the finals there was just a camera everywhere you looked?
Oh
Like
yeah.
I look at here as a fan and I'm like, man, the NHL is doing a great job. They're killing the coverage. But as a player, was it a little just a little too much around right now? Did you feel that at all?
Yeah, it was a lot, like, and given I know like Stanley Cup final, you expected a little bit, but I never really expected it to be that crazy. I remember like media day, we went out there and seeing all the pictures of everyone that's won the cup, and like this media scrum was like the biggest thing I've ever seen. Um, that's kind of when it hit me that I was like, okay, we're in the Stanley Cup final, like
Yeah.
this is nuts. But yeah, I mean they did a good job, and you expect it, and from a fan's perspective, and I'm sure everyone that's playing it knows, when we were younger, we like seeing as much as we can of it, and so you deal with it. But yeah, there was a lot of cameras. Cameras are morning ski when you're walking into the rink. You really couldn't do anything without a camera being on you, but it's just what it is.
Yeah. Sells the game.
Yeah.
After the Edmonton sweep, you guys had so much time off, and all these experts, I'm not saying I'm an expert, but even I had an opinion on it. You
Yeah.
guys had so much time off, and Tampa went toe to toe. I forget who they played before they faced you in the finals, but it was a war. What did you guys do with the time off? Do you think it helped you with recovery, or would you have rather just been in the battle within like a week or so?
Yeah. I think it's nice to get some rest. I think that was a lot. That was a lot of rest before Stanley Cup final, especially after going through 3 series already, and then you get 10 days off. Um, but I think we did a really, good job of taking the time. We had like probably 2 or 3 like full days off, like no one coming in or anything.
Oh, really?
Yeah, we did a lot of prep, and we didn't know if we were going to play for those first like 4 or 5 days.
Yeah.
And we had a lot of guys banged up. So like, and everyone in the room is kind of talking about it and stuff too. And, what we're thinking about the rest, and kind of everything like that. And I think at the end of the day, like, to beat a team in 4 in the Western Conference final, I think you got to take the rest. You beat a team like that in 4 games, like, it's a pretty tough series regardless of how many games it was. And we had a few guys banged up. We had guys with, broken limbs, so they needed to get a lot of rest, and they took that rest. So really, when you're in that position, you take it for the other guys so they can get back in, and we made the most of it. And I thought it was good for us. I mean, we came out flying in game 1 and 2, and
Yeah.
yeah, it was good.
I look at the schedule that you guys played for the cup. You went Nashville, St. Louis, Edmonton, Tampa, and I looked at the map, and Tampa's pretty far from Colorado. How long's that flight?
Yeah, it's like 3.5, I think, 4 hours.
Yeah, maybe that's not that bad, but still,
Yeah.
that's the furthest team you guys had to travel for in the playoffs.
Yeah.
Was that a little bit of a like not?
Yeah, it wasn't. It was long for sure. The 3.5 hours plus the time change. The time change I think what was the hardest, but
Yeah, yeah,
like we would, that travel day there, like we would try to leave pretty early. I think we left like 10 a.m. On both travel days,
yeah.
and we'd get there at probably like 5 with the time change and everything. So it's like your whole day you're just in a plane. It feels like you get to the hotel, you just eat and you go to sleep pretty much. So it's tough, but we try to stay dialed in. Like everyone on the flight is doing like recovery stuff on the flight for the whole 3 hours. You got guys stretching, you got guys, doing wearing like compression and doing stim units and everything. So it's you try to make the most of it. It's tough when you're on a plane all day and then you're sitting down and all that. But yeah, it's a long flight, but you just kind of got to make the most of it.
I heard a really cool quote from Max Talbot back when he played with Pittsburgh years back. And he's like, when you're a kid growing up, your dream is just to play in the NHL. But as soon as you have that one game played in the NHL, your second game, your goal is to win the Stanley Cup. Even though I know you, like last year you played your first game, but this was your first like full season. Knowing playing for Colorado, it was an actual realistic chance to win a cup. Was that your goal as soon as you had that first little bit of a NHL experience out of the way? Was it to win a cup, or was it just to stay in the lineup? Like, well, what was the goal coming into the year?
Yeah, I mean, I think coming into the year, my goal was, individually was to make the team. That was kind of the first goal for me, and got set down there for a few games early in the season. But after I was back up and realized, I think I have a good chance of sticking around all year. Um, that was like as soon as that happened, and you're on a team like that, and you realize, what the situation is, quickly shifted to like, okay, we can win a cup. Like it wasn't anything like, okay, I need to stay here like for the rest of the year, like worrying about that. It was more so like, now that I'm here, like I think I can stick, like we're gonna win the cup. So it's kind of like, and I realized how good of a team we had too. So it's a little bit of a different situation for like a young guy like me coming into a team like that, trying to stick around. But that mindset was really there, and you could feel it from like day one, even at camp. Like everyone on the team was like, there's nothing matters. Just like whatever your individual goals are, it doesn't matter. Like our whole mindset is just to win in the cup. And we got a taste of it last year. I did anyway, and they've had a taste for a few years now. Um, but the mindset felt different this year, even compared to last year, and it really never wavered the whole time. So it was fun to be a part of.
Oh, 100%. Yeah, I could only imagine training camp going into there and just the intensity, especially with Nate on the team, just
Yeah,
like bringing that intensity to camp. That would have been, yeah, exciting times for sure.
yeah,
Um, I want to know what the mood was like in the dressing room after the Game 5 loss at home.
yeah. It was a really I mean, it was a weird vibe after the game. Obviously a tough spot to be in. You have that Game 5. It was like lining up way too perfectly. It was like a Friday night in Denver.
Ugh.
To beat the double champs in Game 5, it was pretty crazy. And I think everyone knew the situation. Like everyone, um, we understood what was on the line, obviously, but I don't think anyone really not a lot of guys on our team have been in that position where like the cup was on the line. So I think a lot of guys were just thinking about after the game and everything, and we ended up losing that one and then having to regroup to go to Game 6. So I think a lot of guys were like, okay, we got to go in there and win another game. Like it's a hard building. Um, but yeah, we ended up having. I know EJ mentioned it on a pod, I think on Chicklets, but
Yeah, I heard this. Yeah.
yeah, it was crazy. And like I know he's explained it, but that we flew to Tampa next day, Game 6. Everything was kind of like mellow and kind of quiet like the whole time after we lost, up until we got to the hotel in Tampa night before Game 6, and called a meeting and whatever. It was just players. And yeah, everyone's sitting down, and a few guys say a few things. Nate steps up and says something, and it's all good stuff, and everyone's pretty dialed into it. And then all of a sudden, Cog stands up and takes the room, stands at the front of the room, and didn't miss a beat for probably like 10 minutes, 15 minutes.
Wow.
And it was the best speech I've ever heard. And from that moment on, like everyone on the team was like, we're winning tomorrow. And it felt that way. Like it was a different feeling from Game 5 to Game 6. And I honestly think it was like from that speech, like everyone the next day was just like, all right, we're doing it tonight. And it was special. Yeah, I'll never forget that one.
Wow. Being a young guy in that role, just being there, being a sponge, soaking everything in. I can't imagine the amount of education, I guess, that you've gained through going through that experience. Just you'll be able to lead now. Not that you weren't before, but you'll be able to be in a room that I guess wants to do it again in the years coming and know what it, takes to get there. That's you can't buy that experience is what I'm trying to say, I guess.
Oh yeah. Yeah,
You know?
exactly. It's so, I feel so privileged to be on a team like that too. And I'm lucky to be in such a great organization that, has the potential to be around it and wanting to win it for the next like however many years. So
Yeah,
to get the experience early, like you said, it's huge. Yeah.
100%. And then winning it, that's a whole nother side of it.
Yeah, exactly.
You start with the drop in the cup for the team picture.
Yeah.
Hilarious. And then social media just kind of blows up with you guys having a great time with it. One question I have is the alleyway doing the bench press. What is that about?
Yeah, that was good. That was good.
Were you in the alleyway?
Yeah, I was there.
Whose idea was it to do that?
That's a great question. I don't even remember whose idea it was. I might have been holding it, being like, "How much is this thing? Like, how much do we really think this thing weighs?" And then someone threw it out there, whether it was EJ or someone. It's like, "What many bench press do you think we can do with this thing?" We're like looking around. I don't know who did it first, but we ended up throwing Sturby in there because this guy's juiced and he's like, model material, just jacked.
Yeah.
And he was pretty into it. Like you could see he wanted to do it, but we weren't like we was waiting to get called on. And we're like, Sturby, get in there. He must have pumped out like 150 reps. And we had a guy like standing over top of him counting, like we were all counting. It was pretty funny.
And there was someone was doing like shoulder presses with it at a pool party. You guys were just lifting it.
Yeah. Oh yeah. You can't get enough of lifting that thing when it's around.
When you won the cup and you lifted, I've heard of stories of guys that have dislocated shoulders, like in Game 7, like back in Detroit, and they go to lift it, and apparently it's like a feather because you're just adrenaline. What was it like actually lifting it?
Yeah, it was
for the first time. Yeah.
Right. Yeah. And you see everyone lifting it up before you, and it's crazy because like you're waiting for that moment, but you're also like so excited for everyone else. So it's like you're watching all these guys, and then when it comes to you, like, oh my god, like it's my turn now. And we had all the family like down in the far section, so it was actually good. You kind of like go for skate and lift it up and kind of like look at them because the rink was pretty empty at that point.
Yeah.
But yeah, like you said, it didn't weigh much when I lifted it over my head the first time, and just the best feeling in the world right there. It was it was special.
How much time goes by from when you're in the dressing room celebrating till you're on the escalator screaming in the hotel? How much time goes by?
It felt like 3 hours. It probably was. I think we got in the dressing room at like midnight or like around there, and then we were probably back at the hotel. I don't know, maybe 2. I honestly don't remember, but that time in the dressing room was pretty special too. And as much as it's fun to like celebrate with your family and friends, everyone that's there, just being in the room with only the guys right after the game, still in like half your gear, all soaked. That's kind of what it's all about. And that those few hours is had to be the best of everything we've done so far.
Does your gear still smell like beer and champagne?
Yeah, champagne and beer.
Have you been on the ice since?
No, I haven't.
Is your gear with you?
Yeah.
You have it. Yeah. I just couldn't imagine that. And when you guys were going up the escalator screaming, I think you had like champagne in your hand, and who was screaming? Just people in the hotel, or the fans followed you back?
Yeah, it was like there's a hotel like lobby bar or whatever.
Yeah.
So we were going upstairs to like our conference room or whatever.
Yeah.
And there was just a few bodies in the bar still. It was pretty late, and we were going up the escalator, and yeah, we had like probably I don't know how many guys were on the escalator, but it was good. Just kind of looking over at the bar.
That's awesome.
It was funny.
Yeah. Also, one thing I also wanted to mention, going back to your Twitter team, your suits on point this year.
Oh yeah, thanks.
Now that Lundqvist is out of the league, are you going for best dressed? And is that like a underlying goal of yours?
Yeah, an unspoken goal. Yeah, I mean, I enjoy it. I think it's a bit of fun, and it's good to just roll into the rink, and I don't like really wearing the same suit ever. Like not the same suit. I'll wear the same suit, but not like the same like shirt and tie, same combo kind of thing. So I like switching it up and getting a few different looks going on, and it's a large task with 100 games that we played, but tried to make it work and slowly adding to the suit collection, and you only keep going up. So it's good.
You got a good suit guy in Denver. He does a good custom job on you.
Yeah, I got a good guy. Yeah, he's good.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
I wanted to talk about I got notes here, but I keep going up, down, up, down.
Yeah, no,
One thing I was really impressed with your game this year was your little slot power play. You mastered that. You just found that slot in the power play. You found the guy, you bumped off him, and you had that one timer. I don't know how many times it worked for you, but it seemed like every time I turned on Sportsnet in the morning, it was happening. How did you work on that? How did that come about, and how did you master that in your game?
Yeah. So, I mean, I when I got back, I started on our second year power play in the bumper, and I honestly haven't played a lot of bumper, like at all in my career. Like I've mostly been on the flank on the power play. And, maybe here and there I played a bit of bumper, but, got in there and, with the skill we had, I was just like, whatever I can do to, help this power play and be effective in this position, I really got to like, make the most of this opportunity kind of thing. And, G was on the left flank, and we had Taser up top. And I remember like even watching before, and they love doing like the steep play to the flank into the middle.
Yeah.
And I remember watching a bunch of clips of guys doing it, and Naz does it really well with Nate there. So like I watched them do it a lot, and kind of just watch Naz and the way he kind of like cheats over to the other side. Like the puck would be on the right side, and like if the bumpers, like if you're not even going to touch the puck on the other side, we had a lot of times you just cheat to the other side, wait for it to go there, and then come into the middle. And that one time was something I worked on a lot in practice, just like getting it from that angle kind of thing, and being ready that like I don't see the puck coming, but when it comes, just ready to hammer it. And yeah, it worked out there for a while during the season, which was great. And it ended up being a play that we kind of went to a lot, and yeah, it was great.
Do you have a different stick for the power play, like a lower flex or anything like that?
No, same twig.
Same twig?
Yeah.
I saw in those NHL documentaries, like the quest to the cup, you sat next to Kadri in the finals in Tampa. Was that every game next to Kadri?
Yeah, every game in Tampa, I was next to Naz. Yeah.
Man, apparently this guy is just beloved in the hockey community. Just they love his intensity. They love the adversity that guy had to go through in the past couple of years. Just talk about his demeanor in the dressing room, sitting next to him, and I guess just the look in his eye when he was hungry for a cup, because it's literally, he comes from the Toronto market where you get shit on all the time if you don't win, and for him just to kind of shove it in everyone's face, like, did you see the level of joy that guy had?
Oh man, it was fun to watch. And as much as you're in the moment all the time, you get to notice everything else everyone's going through. And I mean, the one game I remember that was just like, I felt like I was crying in the room, was when he was going through all that stuff in St. Louis.
Yeah.
With all the hatred and stuff that was going on online, it's unbelievable that stuff's still going on in the world today, and to see it like still happening firsthand was like terrible to watch. But he never wavered, and as hard as that can be, I can't even imagine what it was like. He came back. I think it was must have been game 4 of St. Louis. I think it was game 4, and he had a hattie, and we won. Like after all that, and after how fired up he was and everything, and as he should be, and we were all like fired up for him, and to get the win was one thing, but then to watch him like go out and put on a performance like that, like after all that stuff, he's such a gamer, and he was hungry. He was hungry all year. He had a great year, and he's always a guy that talks in the room, and tries to keep the spirits high and keep everyone engaged. And yeah, just to see what he goes through, and then to break his thumb, come back, score that OT winner, like he's a true gamer. Always been good to me, and a guy I took a lot from this year, and will take a lot with me moving forward.
Yeah, 100%. Hopefully he stays in Colorado. If not, it must be great to have that experience, just being with him for that run. What's your coffee order? You had a coffee every time you walk into the rink?
Yeah, I'm just black coffee.
Love it. I love that.
Yeah.
And every time I don't know if you know this or not, but every time they go Alex Newhook on the broadcast, they just say Newfoundland after. They might as well just say Alex Newfoundland is what they should call you.
Yeah.
But like that sense of pride of coming from Newfoundland, everyone in Canada at least knows it. You know, you guys are that province up there on the water, and people love you guys because the way you treat other people, and you treat yeah, I guess, yeah, people around you. And one really cool thing that you just did, you came back from a hospital and you met a guy named Matt who's going through a tough time, and you made his day. Tell me about that.
Yeah, yeah. Yeah, Matt's a tough kid. You know, he went through a lot this past year, and I honestly didn't really know much about him until like a few weeks ago. And um, one of my family friends reached out to me and was like, "Hey, we're gonna drop off a hat just to you guys, if you don't mind signing it for this guy Matt or whatever." And I was just talking to my mom about him and what he's been going through, and I was like, "Why don't I just go in? Like, I don't really want to just sign a hat for this kid. Like, be cool." But yeah, I just went in and saw him, and you know, he was fired up. He's a big Habs fan, so I went in and tried to sway him a little bit to jump on board. So I gave him the hat, threw it on him, and he was excited. Just the emotion on this guy's face was, you know, that was really the true happiness that like you see. It's just it felt so good, and he's coming around, and I think, you know, just stuff like that to give those guys a little bit of a boost, you know, whenever you can is the least I can do anyway. So yeah,
It must be a great feeling knowing that you have that effect on people. Just if you give people an hour of you're giving me an hour of your time, and I'm through the roof right now. So just to be able to walk around your hometown and give people the time of day and have that effect on people, it must be a great feeling for you and your family and friends as well.
Yeah, it's great, and it's great to, you know, have that ability and know kind of you know, the presence that I can have on someone. And you know, for it to really be like the least I can do, for like to go out for a half hour and like
Yeah.
talk with this kid, it probably, you know, made his last couple months a little bit more bearable. And uh, yeah, and then anything I can do like that, it's like, why would I not? You know, it's just so easy and
Yeah.
so like, yeah, that's what it's all about, really.
We'll talk about the grand scheme of things when the cup does come to Newfoundland. When is the cup coming to Newfoundland? For
Yeah, it's coming on August 22nd. Just figured out a couple days ago.
August 22nd?
Yeah.
I'm gonna write that down, so I'll make that up.
Yeah.
What's the plan for it? Like, do you have to talk to the mayor? Like, are you doing a parade? Like, how does all this work?
Yeah, so I've been in touch with the city of St. John's a lot, and this province of Newfoundland, and they're all excited. The Cup's been in Newfoundland with players 3 times. This is the third time. Um, Derek Clancy won it a couple times, so he came home with it in the management office.
Yeah.
In Pittsburgh, but yeah, the first player from St. John's, so the city's pretty excited, and yeah, I think we're gonna have a parade going through downtown. Um, gonna have like a big social event in one of our parks here for probably, you know, a couple hours anyway. Get everyone, you know, if they can be around it and just
Yeah.
get a few snaps or whatever, it's gonna be cool. And then yeah, I think we might do a little thing with a chopper for a little bit, kind of go to a couple different places, and then fly into the park. Yeah, so it's gonna be pretty cool.
That's gonna be an awesome time.
Yeah, yeah, I'm looking forward to it. I got a bunch of my buddies flying in for it and everything, so we'll have a good day with it, I'm sure.
Yeah, that's the thing. Coming from Newfoundland and all the people that come behind you and support you throughout your whole journey, you've been across the world playing this game of hockey. You've had so many people that have had your back. It's going to be such a great feeling for you to just be able to give back and be like, hey, this is for you guys. You know, I'm sure you're going to love it, you know, and the recognition for it. But I'm sure at the end of the day, you're just happy to share it with everyone else because you're busy, man. You're moving and grooving playing hockey. So to be able to have that day and everyone there, it's going to be like Christmas times 10 for you.
Yeah. Oh yeah. Yeah. Yeah, I'm gonna be looking forward to that day all the summer, and it's cool that, you know, the NHL, it's like, you know, no other league where you get one day with it. You know, it comes to your hometown, and you know, just the attention around it, and everywhere in the world, but Newfoundland should be on another level for it, I think. Um, and yeah, it's gonna be a crazy day, like you said, just to share with my home province, and you know, these are the people that have, you know, grown me up, and you know, I've played minor hockey here and until I left, and um, you know, this is, you know, really what you know, part of the dream is bringing it home and being around the cup when it's here in Newfoundland, and then for you to win it and come back and be able to share with everyone, it's going to be fun.
Question on exit meetings. When you leave for the year, you have exit meetings, but you guys won the cup, so everyone's happy. Do you sit down with
Yeah.
your coach and Sakic and talk about the year, or
Yeah.
because you do?
No, we
Yeah,
don't.
you don't. Yeah, I was gonna say, like, yeah,
Sorry
you
about
did.
it,
Yeah,
though.
you did a good job. You can go. Yeah.
Yeah, so pretty much. So our I think like our trainers and everything, they kind of plan the exit meetings, right? Like
Okay.
it's not like Joe and CMAC that do it. It's just the trainers, like they send out a schedule. They send it out like I think they sent it out like the morning before they were gonna happen the next morning.
Okay.
And it was like it's like a training meeting, trainers meeting, and then it's like a strength and conditioning meeting, and then it's a GM meeting.
Yeah.
Uh, and we're at EJ's pool house there the night before the meetings, and we're all like, sitting around his hot tub. We were there till probably, I don't know, 2, 3 a.m. just drinking with the cup in the tub. And Joe was there for like most of the night. And we were like, guys are asking him like, oh, Joe, like, what's going on with the meetings tomorrow kind of thing. And Joe's like, out of nowhere, we're all like hanging around. He was like, no meetings. We're not doing any meetings. Like, if I want to talk to you, I'll call you. He's like, I'm not even going in tomorrow.
Oh
We had
man.
no idea. Like, we're like, oh, we gotta go in and talk to the GMs tomorrow. Like, oh no, like
No.
yeah, he's like in the middle of everyone. He's like, no meetings. Everyone like starts cheering and stuff. It was funny.
Yeah, it's amazing. Yeah, the player GM, that's the best. He just knows what it's like. Yeah, no
Yeah,
meetings.
it's like, we want no meetings. Yeah.
That's incredible.
Yeah.
No, but at what point do you go from, I don't want to say party mode, but from leisure mode to, all right, maybe I got to get back on the ice and start lifting a little bit of weights? Like, how does, in your mind, where does that come into play?
Yeah, I mean, I'm just back in the gym this week, but
Oh, you're already back.
I'm going back in like today. Yeah.
Today's the day. Oh yeah, you got the Lululemon on. You're getting ready to go. Yeah.
Today's the day, but yeah, it's a long season, and like I didn't, obviously, this is my first full year, so I didn't really understand how long it really actually is.
Yeah.
But I mean, I was at the rookie tournament in early September, so that was like September to like July, so it was like 10 months straight of grind, and it's long, and like to go through all the playoffs mentally, physically, like my body was tired, my head was just like, I need to get away for a little bit.
Yeah.
I even went to the gym just to see my trainer the other day and like hopped on the bike, and I was like, man, I'm not ready yet.
Yeah.
Need a couple more days, but yeah, I mean, after you go through all the celebrations and everything, and I only got home on Friday, so I've kind of been enjoying it with my buddies at home, with family and friends. So it's it's a fun 2 weeks, but it's a short off season too. So as much as it's something to celebrate, you can still do the celebrations, if you're in the gym and still working out. So it'll be good to get back in and get back refocused and feel a bit better about myself here.
Yeah, 100%. Yeah, it's just a fine line of, you got to enjoy it, but you're tired as hell, I'm sure too.
Exactly. Yeah.
Yeah. Plans for the summer vacation or anything? You say you're a little bit tired. Are you gonna go spend a week on a beach or anything?
Yeah, I don't know. I think I'm probably just gonna hang out at home for most of July. I think all of July.
Yeah.
And then I got a spot in Boston with a couple of my buddies, so I'm gonna go back there for like probably 2 or 3 weeks, early August, before coming back home for the cup. So
Get some golfing.
Yeah, get some golf, and I'll probably get back on the ice there. We got a good group that we skate with there, so it'll be good to get back and get some work in early August. Just such a short off season; it's hard to get a vacation in, I think, but
Yeah.
definitely we'll spend some time on the beach down in Mass.
Does Boston College welcome their alumni back? Like, if you want to use their gym or their ice? Or
Yeah, they
anything?
do. Yeah, we actually train out of a different spot, but they do offer it. The ice isn't generally in the summer, so it's a little trickier, and it's kind of a little bit out of the way, but. Yeah, we'll still be around BC and talking to the coaches and everything. It's great to have that there.
Awesome. Well, Newey, man, I want to thank you for coming on. This means the world to me. I really do. You're so good to us. What is like the third time you've been on? You can't. When you're in the World Juniors, like bored in the hotel room, you came on. You're coming on as a Cup champion, and you came on like right after you got drafted, I think. So you're so good to us. If there's anything that we can do for you, man, you just let us know, and we'll be there for you.
Yes, sir. I appreciate you coming on. I always enjoy it.
Awesome. Well, enjoy the rest of your summer. I'm not going to make any promises that we'll be up in Newfoundland, but I'm going to start. I might crash open the piggy bank here and try to get a flight up there. I'll see. All right.
Right on.
Yeah. Well, once again, thank you, everyone listening. Thank you. This is all I got to say. Try to win a Stanley Cup just like Newey, and then you'll be on the podcast.
There you go.
All right.